Around the world, there are wind turbines running right now that generate less noise than a quiet conversation, pose no measurable threat to birds or bats, and in documented hybrid systems, power a home at over 90% annual energy self-sufficiency. The technology is not experimental. It has been field-tested for more than a decade across environments ranging from Dutch coastal installations to typhoon-exposed shorelines in South Korea. It is in production. You can buy one. You have almost certainly never seen one installed on a residential roof. You are not likely to anytime soon. This is the Archimedes wind turbine. It takes a geometric principle that is over 2,000 years old and applies it to the single biggest failure point in residential wind energy. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why it works, why it has not replaced what came before it, and what that tells you about how energy markets actually operate. In the 3rd century BC, King Hiero II of Syracuse commissioned the largest ship of the ancient world. The Syracusia was an engineering achievement by the standards of its age, but its scale created an immediate and practical problem. A hull that size leaked constantly, and removing that water manually required more labor than the ship could carry. The king called on Archimedes to solve it. What Archimedes devised was a spiral blade inside a cylinder. A single operator could turn it and move vast quantities of water from the hull to the sea. The same device was adopted in Egypt to lift Nile water into irrigation ditches, and by the Roman Empire to drain groundwater from deep mineral mines. For more than 2,000 years, the Archimedes screw remained the most efficient method of moving fluid with minimal labor input. In 2003, a Dutch inventor named Marinus Mieremet reversed the logic. Instead of a screw moving the fluid, what happens when you let the fluid move the screw? Mieremet had identified something Archimedes never explored: the three-dimensional spiral as a rotor for energy conversion. First patents were filed in 2006. Manufacturing began in South Korea in 2016. The result is the Liam F1 turbine. To understand why the Archimedes design matters, you first need to understand what conventional residential wind turbines actually do when you put them on a rooftop. The answer is mostly fail. Standard 3-blade turbines are built on the principle of aerodynamic lift, the same mechanism that keeps an airplane in the air. They require smooth, consistent, fast-moving airflow across the surface of a thin blade to create the pressure differential that drives rotation. Below approximately 9 to 11 miles per hour, most conventional turbines produce negligible power. That is not an edge case. That is the average wind speed across most American residential areas. Then there is the direction problem. When wind shifts, the entire heavy body of the turbine must physically rotate to reorient itself into the new flow. That process consumes energy. It creates mechanical stress. And in the boundary layer of turbulent air that sits below 33 feet above an urban roofline, wind direction does not shift occasionally. It shifts constantly. That boundary layer is the defining environment of a residential rooftop installation. Inconsistent speed, inconsistent direction, rapid, unpredictable changes in both. It is precisely the set of conditions that exposes every structural weakness of the conventional 3-blade design. The result is a turbine that vibrates, produces the rhythmic thumping that generates noise complaints, accumulates mechanical fatigue at an accelerated rate, and delivers minimal usable power output in return. The residential rooftop is not a difficult environment for the Archimedes turbine. It is the environment the Archimedes turbine was specifically engineered to solve. The Archimedes turbine does not look like a wind turbine. That is the first thing most people notice. There are no thin blades, no swept rotor disc. What you see instead is a 3-dimensional conical spiral, 3 circular blades wrapped around one another and expanded along a horizontal shaft modeled on the geometry of the Nautilus shell and the mathematical proportions of the Fibonacci sequence. that shape is not aesthetic. It is the entire engineering argument. Where a conventional turbine extracts energy across the flat surface of a blade, the Archimedes rotor extracts it through the spatial volume of the spiral itself. Wind entering the front of the turbine is forced to accelerate along the surface of the blades by the conical geometry, redirected 90 degrees as it passes through the rotor, and stripped of a large portion of its kinetic energy in the process. The mechanism is fundamentally different from lift-based designs, and that difference produces three properties that conventional turbines cannot replicate at the residential scale. The first is automatic yawing. The spiral is aerodynamically balanced in a way that orients it into the optimal wind direction without electronic motors or sensors. In an environment where direction changes every few seconds, this eliminates both the energy loss and the mechanical stress that cripples conventional designs. The second is omnidirectional tolerance. The Archimedes design captures wind entering the rotor at angles of up to 60 degrees off-axis. A conventional turbine in the same conditions stalls. The third is low cut-in speed. The Liam F1 begins generating usable power at 5.6 miles per hour. Most comparable conventional turbines require 11. Then there is what the spiral does not have. No blade tips means no air being clipped at high velocity with every rotation. The result is less than 45 decibels at full operation. Quieter than light rain. Below the threshold of normal conversation. And because the rotor is a solid, slow-moving three-dimensional mass rather than a high RPM blur, birds and bats can see it and navigate around it. Across more than a decade of field testing, bird strikes on spiral turbines are documented as virtually non-existent. The performance claims around the Archimedes turbine are significant, so it is worth being precise about what the data actually shows and where it comes from. The manufacturer states the Liam F1 achieves approximately 80% of the BETZ limit, the physical ceiling on how much kinetic energy any turbine can extract from moving air. Independent peer-reviewed testing and computational fluid dynamics modeling produce more conservative figures. What those studies consistently confirm is that the Archimedes design operates at approximately double the efficiency of conventional small-scale turbines under comparable conditions. The most rigorous independent testing was conducted by Pusan National University in South Korea, including sites on the typhoon-exposed coast of Incheon. The turbine demonstrated consistent self-starting at low wind speeds and stable operation in turbulent, directionally inconsistent airflow that would disable conventional residential designs. In hybrid systems paired with solar, the real-world impact is measurable. Solar alone delivers approximately 61% annual energy self-sufficiency. Adding a Liam F1 pushes that figure to over 92%. The gains come almost entirely from autumn and winter, exactly the months when solar underperforms. Now, the number that matters most for most viewers. At average urban wind speeds, a Liam F1 produces roughly 1,500 kilowatt hours annually. At current American electricity rates, that is approximately $225 saved per year against an upfront cost of $5,000 to $7,000, a payback period of over 20 years. In high-wind coastal or elevated rural sites, that compresses below 10. The honest answer is that the financial case depends entirely on where you live. The turbine works. The data confirms it works. So why is it not on every suitable rooftop in the country? The barriers are layered, and they will be familiar to anyone who has looked into why other efficient, low-cost technologies fail to reach the mainstream. The first is regulatory. Mounting a turbine weighing between 220 pounds and 617 pounds to a residential roof requires structural engineering certification to verify that the roof trusses can bear both the static load and the long-term vibration stress. That process is lengthy and costly. Unlike solar, which is protected by solar access laws in several American states, small-scale residential wind has no equivalent legislative protection. Local planning boards retain full discretion. Homeowners associations routinely prohibit installations outright. The second is the supply chain. There is no certified installer network in the United States. Most buyers must manage the installation themselves, which requires working knowledge of three-phase AC electrical systems, MPPT wind charge controllers, dump load management, and roof structural assessment. Errors in any of those areas risk equipment failure, voided warranties, or fire. Solar has spent decades building standardized equipment, established permitting pathways, and a domestic installer network. The Archimedes turbine has none of these. The technology exists, the infrastructure around it does not. And without that infrastructure, it reaches early adopters and stops there. The engineering problem was solved in 2003. The geometry was proven. The field data exists. What does not exist is the regulatory pathway, the installer network, or the financial incentive structure that would push this technology into the mainstream. That pattern will be recognizable to anyone who has watched an efficient, low-cost solution sit on a shelf, while the industry built around replacing it continues operating undisturbed. For those in high-wind coastal or elevated rural sites, the case is already strong. The device exists. The knowledge is available. The only thing standing between you and energy independence is whether the system around you was designed to get you there.